From now onwards, we will start with the new unit on functions. And in this presentation, we will try to understand some basics of the functions. What is the function? What is the syntax of the function? And why we use functions. So let's get started. Let's try to understand the definition of the function. Function is basically a set of statements that takes inputs, performs some computation, and produces output. That means you can think of function as some set of statements that can take some input, perform some computation on those inputs, and it then produces some output. Syntax of the function is as follows. Return type, function name. Within the parentheses, you have some set of inputs. Return type indicates the type of output returned by the function. Function name indicates the name of the function, and set of inputs indicate inputs provided to the function. Please remember, it is not necessary to provide the inputs to the function. Without inputs, it can perform some computation and it can return some output as well. Return type indicates the type of the output. An output could be of integer type, it could be of character type, or it could be of float type, and so on. After understanding these basics, now let's try to understand why we use functions. Why functions? There are two important reasons of why we are using functions. The first reason is reusability. That is, once the function is defined, it can be reused over and over again. You can reuse the function again and again in your code without defining its functionality. It is once defined and can be reused again and again. The second reason is abstraction. That is, if you are just using the function in your program, then you don't have to worry about how it works inside. For example, scanf function. You can reuse the scanf function multiple number of times, right? Without defining its functionality again and again in your code. And also it provides the level of abstraction. That means you don't have to worry about how it works. You can simply use it in your code without even worrying about how it works. Therefore, function satisfies both the properties, that is reusability and abstraction. Now, let's demonstrate the use of functions written in C program in code blocks. Suppose I want to calculate the area of rectangle. Then instead of calculating area directly, I'm calling this function area of rect, whose functionality is defined over here. Inside this area of rect function, I'm providing two inputs L and B. Value of L is 10, as you can see, and value of B is 5. And I'm passing these inputs to the area of rect function, which is received by length and breadth. Length now contains the value 10 and breadth contains value 5. Then inside this function, as you can see, I have declared one variable area, and I'm calculating the area by multiplying length and breadth, which is the area of the rectangle. As length contains value 10 and breadth contains value 5, therefore area will now contain value 50, which is the multiplication of both the values, right? And then it will get returned by this function. Because the type of this variable is integer, therefore I need to write int over here, which is the return type. That means after the calculation, this value is returned back to this particular point. That means this will get replaced by 50, which will get stored inside the area variable, and then we will simply print area on the screen. In the upcoming lectures, we will talk about the functions in greater details, but right now it is important for us to get the look and feel of the function. If it is difficult for you to understand that how this function works, then there is no need to worry about it, because we will talk about functions in greater details in the upcoming lectures. Okay? Now, let's try to execute this code and see the result. As you can see, the result is 50, which is the area of the rectangle, right? And that is what is expected. Suppose I want to calculate area of rectangle once again with new values of L and B. L equals to 50 and B equals to 20. Now let's see what will be the result. As you can see, the area is 1000, right? Which is the multiplication of 50 and 20. Here you can see the demonstration of the reusability. That is, there is no requirement of calculating the area once again. What you need to do is just simply call this function once again, and then the new area can be obtained, right? Okay friends, this is it for now. Thank you for watching this presentation.